clerk will circulate it. Thank you. Councillor Cho.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for your patience. I have two motions. The first one is the City Council requests that in addition to the currently committed funding, the federal and provincial governments provide funding for the following projects. A, the extension of SRT conversion from Sheppard Avenue East to Melbourne Town Centre. B, the extension of the Melbourne LRT to University of Toronto Scarborough campus. Number 2, the City Council direct the City Manager to report to the October 2nd, 2012 City Council meeting on results of the above request. Motion B is the City Council request the City Manager to report to the October 2nd, 2012 City Council meeting on the feasibility of establishing a Toronto Transit Infrastructure Reserve Fund. Before I speak on my motion, first of all, I'd like to thank profoundly to the members of our expert panel, and they have done marvelous job, and there is a real sacrifice out of their love of Toronto and Torontonians, as I like to mention again. Madam Speaker, initially I was strongly supporting survey myself, and my support are based on, I guess, my skewed or biased information. Originally, I'm from South Korea. I came to the best country in the world, Canada, 45 years ago. In Seoul, Korea, each time I visit, they always build a subway. Every 2-3 years, they have new lines. And how come we couldn't build a subway? Last 30 years or so, the city of Toronto, we only built 14 kilometers of subway. You know? So that was my argument. Plus that when I heard that the candidate for mayor, Ralph Ford, said, you know, you don't have to pay more tax. There's no road toll. You get the free subway. I'll bring all their developers and development, and the subway will build. So I say, hey, this is the way to go. And I support it. But now it's altogether different story. And that is why I'm changing my vote from subway to LRT. And why? First of all, we don't have any capital budget to build the subway, even to Scarborough Town Centre, on Sheppard to Kennedy to Scarborough Town Centre. And we don't have money. It costs around $3.5 billion, around 3.2 to 3.7, so I figure around 3.5 billion. We don't have a capital budget to build. Second, we don't have money to operate budget. You know, if I could only afford to pay by a bicycle, and then, in the long term, it's better to drive a Mercedes-Benz, and just to buy and sign it, and I lose my house. I don't think it's a responsible way to buy a subway. And we heard that the TTC staff mentioning, when you run the LRT all the way to Colon, it comes to my ward, and then subway to Scarborough Town Centre, the operating cost annually at least $5 million. Who pays $5 million? The last thing is we don't have a ridership. If we had a ridership, we really fight for the subway. But, you know, they fired the chief general manager, the former chief general manager, TTC, said we could use LRT up until 2050, approximately 40 more years. So when we don't have a ridership, why bother building it? And then just to keep paying? You know, I think Councillor Glenn DeWaymaker mentioned earlier, I read the article written by former councillor, former budget chair, David Sakanaki, and he said the title was "Suburbs Don't Need Subway." and Scarborough deserves better than subway, and he was referring to LRT. He's a conservative member. I have a lot of respect. I worked together at the Metro Council. He was a budget chief, and he says, better way for suburb is not subway, but LRT.
Councillor Cho, do you need an extension?
Yes, thank you.
Recorded vote.
Councillor Perks, please. Councillor Perks, your vote. Councillor Layton, please. Councillor Thompson. Thank you.
The motion to extend the time carries unanimously, 24 in favor.
Yes, I'm moving this recommendation seeking additional funding from federal and provincial government. You know, only a few days ago I read an article by Deputy Minister of Defense, Julius Fontino, said, we have $9 billion plus a $1 billion contingency fund to buy 65 F-35 jets. Which country will attack Canada from the air? If anybody attack, it's a terrorist. Each year, according to Board of Trade report, we are losing $6 billion in our productivity because of traffic jam and pollution. The worst enemy of Canada and USA that will attack this North America is not China or Russia, but it's global warming and climate change. If I were Minister of Defense or Prime Minister, I will give $6 billion to the city of Toronto so that we could save this city. This is the economic engine of Canada. We have to make a right plan. Let's continue to big move. Let's ask for $4 billion from the provincial government. All the MPP from Scarborough, they subway, good. Give us the money. Don't play lip service, okay? We have to be responsible and accountable. And that is why I'm changing my position, all for the LRT Scarborough. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Cho, you have a question for you? There's a question for you.
Councillor Cho, you were mentioning that streetcars are going to be around for 50 years. Where's your calculation on capacity on Sheppard?
Okay, we're not talking about streetcar. That mention was statement was made by Councillor Joshi Matlow, but we're not talking about this streetcar. I'm glad that you're asking that question. One day, very recently, I met one Chinese Canadian. He said he was in Spain. He rode the LRT there. LRT is not streetcar. It's top class.
Well, thank you for mentioning Spain. Spain has more subway systems than pretty well any outside of Beijing and that area, anywhere in the world. And guess what, Councillor Cho? Guess the cost that they build their subway tunnels over there. They're the best tunneling experts in the world. That's my first question. What is the cost?
I'm sorry, what's the cost?
What is the cost to build tunnels in Spain?
What's count?
It's 90.
Madam Speaker,
Hold on.
we're not talking about cost of building
Councillor
subway.
Ford, that question is not in order. I mean,
My point, Councillor.
Madam Speaker.
Okay, hold on.
I didn't think that was that hilarious. But anyways, my point.
Okay, hold on. Councillor Ford, hold on.
Question of clarification of the motion.
So in Spain, it's 90
Hold
million.
on, Councillor Ford, I got your time. And Councillor Davis, I do not need your help, okay?
Thank you.
So just, if everyone's quiet, we can proceed.
I'm
Okay.
glad you mentioned Spain. They
Okay,
built-
Councillor Ford, don't, please, if you have a question, I put your time on stop, ask the question to Councillor Cho on clarification of his motion.
Okay, I won't tell the world that they build tunnels for 90 million a kilometer. I'll ask you another question about capacity then. And we build tunnels around here for 400 million. Okay. So the capacity, when the capacity reaches its total capacity in 2030. That's what the TTC is saying. Sheppard is going to reach its capacity in 2030. Well, let me finish my question. It's going to take, what, 7-8 years to build the system. We're in 2012. So in 10 years after building the system, we will have to tear it up, Councillor Cho?
Your question,
No, that is the question. Are we going to be tearing it up?
No.
Well, let me tell you facts, Councillor Cho. 17 million people is total capacity.
Councillor Ford, okay, hold on.
17
Councillor
million.
Ford, please ask
I
the
will ask the
question for
question.
clarification of the motion. Okay, Councillor de Berme, it doesn't help when you're screaming in the background.
17 million people, the capacity on a streetcar in Sheppard. Okay? And that capacity will hit in 2030. There's 27 million people for a subway. Are you going to tear the streetcar line up, Councillor Cho?
Madam
Or are you going to put the subway in and do it right?
Okay,
for your
Councillor
constituents?
Ford, allow Councillor Cho to answer.
Okay, first of all, Councillor Doug Ford, you should not twist my my motion. I never ever said that we should build the streetcars. They're two different things. Why you keep calling streetcars? You have some English language problem like me?
Excellent. That was a good one, Councillor. Now, if I said that to you, I'd be a racist, right?
Oh.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a double standard.
Okay, enough. I think that we've had enough questions. Enough questions. That's it. Councillor Cho. Councillor Kelly has a question for you.
Councillor Cho, I agree with you. The LRT cars are not streetcars. That's correct. You're absolutely correct.
Thank you.
Now, you brought up Madrid. I was there as the chair of the city's planning committee. I spent 10 days touring the city and its immediate environment. Do you know, or did the person, one of your constituents who was talking with you about his or her experience there, did they tell you that the LRTs are run in the, what's the equivalent of the GTA and not the city? Did he tell you that? That in the city itself, Madrid proper, it's subways. Did he tell you that? Do you know that? So
He didn't explain all these things.
But now you're aware
we're
of
talking about Scarborough at the present
Okay,
time.
stop.
It's a suburb.
But you're now aware of the fact that if you go to Madrid and you travel on an LRT, you'll be traveling in the equivalent of our 905 area. You'll be traveling on an LRT in Markham, Mississauga, Pickering, Ajax, but in the city proper, it's subways. You're now aware of that, is that correct?
Okay, what I'm saying, Councillor Kelly, we need a rapid transit
Councillor Cho,
now,
the question,
not 20 years from now.
Councillor Cho, hold on. The question was asked to you, are you aware of that?
Now.
That was not
That's happening now.
Okay.
That was not clarification. He can
Well,
answer the question
he
the way
didn't ask me
wants.
anything
Carol,
about
please.
my
The
question per
question was
se.
asked if he was aware of
The way
it.
he wants.
Yeah. Okay, that's my answer. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, enough. That's it.